Howdy, howdy, all. I hope you're having a great VidJam. I'm going to be coming at you with a summary of Metro 2033, as it's been what I've been carrying in my brain the last few weeks. Theme. Yeah, that's about it. I meant to do a much more high effort video, but I didn't, so this is what I got. Metro 2033 is a book set in the nuclear post-apocalypse in near-future Russia, where a large part of the population escapes to the Moscow Metro as a sort of improvised fallout shelter. It's been about a generation since then, and the stations have devolved into their own independent governments, sometimes by themselves, sometimes forming into confederations with other stations to make wars, make trade leagues, whatever. Our story follows Yartyam, a young, adventurous soul in the far-flung northern tunnel station of VidJam. VidJam is an interesting station. They value the old ways, speaking Russian right, keeping books, teaching everyone how to read. They make tea there, because everyone in the metro, they just eat mushrooms, because what else are you going to grow? So they eat mushrooms, and then they eat pigs that they feed mushrooms, and that's the diet. And then they'll have people go up to the surface to get multivitamins and shit and whatever, getting off track. So they make tea out of mushrooms, and it tastes like fucking ass, but there's nothing better, so they sell that. That's like their export. To the north of the tunnels, they guard against these things called dark ones, not black people. They're like demons. They're like weird, slender, kind of featureless. They walk really slow, and they're really fucked up looking. And everyone's like fucking piss ass terrified of them for no goddamn reason. Because like when you think about them, they're not threatening at all. Like they are slow as hell, and they are unarmed, and they just sort of walk towards you. And they always make such a big deal, like we shined a flashlight at them, and they didn't even flinch. And it's like, just shoot them. Like they're durable is kind of what they got going for them, but like you can just shoot them to death. Anyway, so everyone's dick ass terrified. Artyom, not really so much, but he lives with his stepfather, who's a bit of a metro adventurer. Rescued him from his home station, which was taken over by the flood of rats, and so Artyom comes from that fun background, and he's got his stepfather, Mr. Terrified of the Dark Ones, and one day this dude Hunter comes to the station, and Hunter is fucking awesome. He's called a stalker. He's one of the people that goes up to the surface to look for supplies and whatnot. And you would think that's like a dangerous job, but in Metro it's a fucking wildly dangerous job. Like it's almost like realistic fiction until you get to what's on the surface, which is like literal fucking demons, like pterodactyls and shit. It's bizarre. So the stalkers that go up to the surface, that's what they call them, I think. I think like stalkers is a word in the like Russian vernacular. Like it comes from the roadside picnic. I was just thinking about this because like the video game stalker, whatever. Getting off track. So this guy comes to the station, Hunter. He's a stalker. He looks fucking awesome. Artyom's like getting a total boy crush on him, and he's chit chatting around. And he's like, Artyom, these people are not right. They are like way too terrified of these like little bitches for no reason. So I think I gotta go up there, shut off the tunnel, like explode the whole fucking thing, because they won't fucking do it. And if I don't make it back, you gotta go on a fucking journey. You gotta go to the biggest station in the whole metro. You gotta get to Polis, and you gotta warn my comrades about what's up here. And Artyom's like fucking on board. He's like, I'll do it, dude. I'm fucking in. So fucking he goes off, and Artyom never hears back. It's like a day passes, and Artyom's just like going to sleep, and he has like a fucking spirit vision where the guy's like, Artyom, I have died, you must go now, and Artyom just believes him, because they're all fucking mushroom crazy. Like they just eat mushrooms all the time, and they have hallucinations, and they're just fucking crazy. So Artyom fucking is up and at him, and he hitches a ride on a caravan heading 2 stations south, and he's already in fucking shit. They're like going through this tunnel, and Artyom's like, "You guys hear that?" And they're like, "No, dumbass, keep walking." And fucking then they start getting like the crazy pills, and one guy starts sobbing, and the other just like, passes out, and it's like, oh god. And Artyom fucking like gets them all in the cart they're traveling on and pushes them forward and what have you, and gets them all out of there because he's fucking awesome, and he's not affected by crazy tunnel magic. It's just fucking allowed for him. It gives him like a head full of bees. Like it's just hard to think through, but he's not like fucking losing his mind like these other poor souls. So he gets through the station, and everyone's like, three cheers for Yartom, our glorious savior. And now he's out of pickle because he's got to get through like a border checkpoint with the Hanseatic League, which is this trade league sort of thing that controls the beltway of stations around the core stations, which is where he needs to get to. So he's kind of snooping around, and he runs into this like super duper sketchy guy named Bourbon, who is just like, "Hey kid, I heard you got immunity to crazy tunnel noises. I need you to come with me and get me out of there if I succumb to crazy tunnelness. And I can get you through the border checkpoint." And Artyom's, fucking broke ass kid out of options, so he says yes. So he's traveling with Sketcho, and they're going down the tunnel, and it's like whatever, getting through the checkpoint, and then kind of hearing the noise, and yep, his dude's definitely affected. He kind of like starts on this like monologue that sort of starts normal, and then gets to like this like alluding to the doom and gloom that is the future or whatever, and then at towards the end he pretty much like fucking horror movie snaps his neck around to look at Artyom, and he's like, okay, this is the end now, I'm dead, and he fucking like falls over, like dead as a corpse, like fucking dead. So Artyom's like, oh shit, and he's like dragging the corpse along, and he's trying to get it to the next station, which is like forever away. And then this fucking old man walks up to him, and he's like, your friend is dead. And he's like, I gotta get him, and he's like, leave him. And Artyom's like, okay, because he ain't no dummy. You can see that his homeboy is passed out. So he gets to the next station with this old man, which is sort of like half station. There's no real government. It's just a bunch of like tramps around a fire. He's talking to this old dude, and he's explaining to Artyom that he's a wizard and he can sense tunnel vibes and kind of have he's got some mind magic and what have you, and all this good stuff. And Artyom fucking like totally believes him. It's like, oh my god, I found a wizard. And until he doesn't, like literally the next thing. Okay, so they go to get to the next station south further to where Artyom needs to get to, and there's like two tunnels, right? Like you can imagine like train tunnels. Like there's one going in one direction, one going in another, and it's considered like generally bad luck to go the way down a tunnel that the train would not have gone through. Like it's superstition, and so his tunnel wizard is like sensing the vibes, and he's like, oh yeah, we can't go down the normal tunnel right now. It'll fucking like instant death. Like cannot go, absolutely not. And fucking everyone's like, no dumb shit, we're not going like the opposite way down the tunnel, like you're trying to get us killed, we're all going there. And Artyom's like, oh, I gotta follow the biggest group, and he just starts to go with them until his fun wizard buddy, his name's Khan, by the way, wizard is Khan, they start fucking walking down, and Khan like sprints up to him and fucking grabs Artyom, like points a gun at all of them, drags him away, and Artyom's like, oh my god, my life has just been saved, because he's schizophrenic or something. I don't know. He's weird, and so he goes down with Khan and like this one other guy who broke off from the group, and it's like, I can tell you're a real tunnel wizard, and they're going down this tunnel, and everything's fine. Like it's fucking fine, and then all of a sudden, like all three of them are just like, oh my god, there is an entity right behind us, and it's coming to get us, and we have to fucking move. And so they just take off at this like dead sprint through this tunnel for no goddamn reason. Like there is literally nothing behind them, and they're horrified. Like the one guy, the extra dude, like trips at one point, and Artyom like fucking does not stop. Like he's just gonna leave him for dead. Khan grabs him though. So they get to the next station, and it's got a lot of hustle and bustle. It's one of the really populated ones with markets and such, and Artyom's there with Khan, and it's all just such a vibe. And he's talking about it, and Khan likes the place, and he's talking to the other dude, and he's like, "Oh my God, you saved my life," and it's all pleasant until they kind of get separated when these Nazis start attacking the place. Okay, so there's this one station with a bunch of Nazis, and okay, that's it. There's one station with a bunch of Nazis, and they were attacking this station, and so Artyom kind of fucking gets out of there, gets on another tunnel, gets separated from his homeboys, but he meets some new homeboys, which are decidedly more lame. It's this old man who's like he was a college professor at some point. He's kind of like into the past or what have you, and his fucking like majorly autistic son or something. He's got like a brain disorder, not like autistic. It's like he like can't even like speak words really, and so he's walking with them, and the old guy's kind of like chatting him away, like really chatting him away, like reading him poetry and shit and whatever. He's apparently this is growing on Artyom. I found him annoying the whole time. Artyom found the mentally disabled kid really annoying. Like he wanted to like beat the crap out of him. Well, it's weird. I guess this is like a Russian thing. So they get to the next station, and it's adjacent to a station on the like big communist confederation on the red line. Haha, funny. And they're like fucking like Stalinist Russian KGB motherfuckers. So they see the old man spreading his like bad intelligentsia, and fucking they go in to arrest him, and one of his dudes at the station is like, "Mikhail Porfirofovich, you've gotta go, like they're coming for you." And so Mikhail and Artyom and the little fucking rug muncher set off, and they're going like they're headed straight towards Nazi station, which they're not stoked about. The Nazis are generally not good people. So they get there, and Artyom like gets across the border no problem, and they're giving the old man some hassle, and then Vanechka, the fucking little scamp that he is, fucking like bites one of the officers, and he's like, "Oh, fuck off, retard," and he fucking blasts him in the head, and Artyom like sees red at this point for no reason. Artyom's just a fucking like insane little gremlin. So he fucking pulls a gun on this dude and fucking gasses him to death and gets arrested or whatever, and so is Mikhail. So he's in prison, being tortured, whatever, getting a confession out of him. "I am the saboteur you are looking for." And gets like a one-liner that Mikhail like fucking died in prison, and it's like, okay, Mikhail's gone, he's dead, and so Artyom's like going up there. He's about to be hanged. He's barely bummed. When all of a sudden these rad dudes roll in on this like fucking motorized handcart, and they're gatting everyone down and saving our boy Artyom, and Artyom's like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." Well, he's pretty much passed out, but when he wakes up, he's like, "Who are you guys?" And we're like, "We're the communists." And he's like, "Red line?" And they're like, "No, we're the fucking awesome communists. We love Che Guevara." And so Artyom's like, "Oh, dog, yeah, y'all are legit. Y'all are rad." And he gets on their cart, and they're taking him away, and they're like, "Oh, what were you being hanged for?" And Artyom's like, "Oh, I shot an officer." And they're like, "Dude, based." And so he gets to this station like way down in the south. Like he's like overshot poles at this point. Like he was really close, now he's far away again. And they let him off, and they're like, "Here, take this gun, base dude." And he's like, "You guys are awesome. I love Che Guevara." And they're like, "Yep, see you around, kid." And so he gets off, and he's at this like weird kind of station where everyone's got like oh, fuck, I've been talking to him for a while. Everyone's got these like deformations, and they're all mutated and shit, and they got these like Smeagol heads going on, and they just look nasty. And everyone's looking at the clock and shit, and Artyom takes a nap because he's kind of been through the ringer. He's pretty tuckered, and he wakes up, and it's like 9 o'clock, and he like goes to the gate. It's locked, and they're like, "Tough luck, shit lips. No one gets outside this gate after 8." And So then Artyom's like, oh, that's weird. And he goes by these guys who are sitting by a fire, and he's like, hey guys, why do they lock up the station after 8? And they like gesture towards the gate to the station, like where it goes up to the vestibule towards the surface. And so he walks over there, and he's like, hey, why does the station close after 8? And he's like, look with your fucking eyes, dumbass. And Artyom can see that it leads up to the surface, and there's no like barrier. Unlike every other station, like the fucking pterodactyl demons can just come and get him. So Artyom understands. They lock the station up for defense, because they're the line of defense to stop demons. So the fucking, they spot one, they gat it to death, and it's fucking like wailing in a human like fashion, and Artyom's like, oh man, this place is no good. And that's where I read to. I'm supposed to have the whole book done about 5 hours ago, but the fucking brain was not cooperating with me, so that's as far as I got. That's about halfway through the book. I'm gonna finish it later on my own time, but yeah, that's about all I did. I like it. You can really tell that it's Russian. A lot of the dialogue sounds fairly stilted. And there's a few like cultural things that I don't think fit. I was talking to a Polish friend of mine, and he was making a point that like in Russian, the way you speak kind of tells you a lot more about a person than it does maybe in English. Which makes sense when you're reading through it, because Artyom will stop to describe like the accent and manner of speaking of almost everyone he ends up interacting with, and it's distracting when he's just like, and he pronounced his A's like O's, and his like fucking what the sounds like yum sounds. So I think that's my only complaint really is just that it's got like wonkiness in the translation. But I really love the setting. I kind of love the idea of like an underground tunnel society of crazy people. Good book. I'd recommend it to anyone. So happy VidJam, y'all. Hope it's going well. Hope you liked my vid. And I'll see you in about 10 hours from now.